Sometimes, when I make a great effort, Serena, why can't I see you more clearly? Why can't I? This was taken on that crisp winter night at our mutual friend's hunting lodge. We came back indoors, laughing, giddy as teenagers. It was truly like an enchanted time, like we were in a magic circle where no sorrow or pain could touch us. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then.
You always put too much salt in, dear. Think about your pressure.
She always worried about my diet. I used to think she did it to annoy me, but now... Yep, guilty as charged. I love salt. It emphasizes the taste a lot, and it's not the healthier type, just regular table salt. I always planned to switch to mineral or sea salt, but then I always ended up buying the regular stuff. Doctors, they always overreact. I must be even more exhausted than I realize. Here I am staring at a salt shaker, my thoughts a million miles away. It's not the healthier type, just regular table salt. I always planned to switch to mineral or... Serena enjoyed spice in our life. I preferred it more bland. We were so different on some points.
Would you pass me the pepper? You know, you should use it too. It's good for the pressure.
I can't help these random associations. It's always been that way. I look at a pepper shaker and think of a Beatles song. It's just a pepper shaker, really. We got this set from that clearance sale, however long ago that was, yet we never needed to refill it. I didn't notice this before. It reads, "Contents imported from Ceylon." How old is this stuff? It's just a pepper shaker. We got this set from that clearance sale. The furniture came with the cabin. Considering how off the beaten path this place is, that helped make up our mind. Sometimes she would brush her leg against mine under the table when we were eating. A curious, sensual thrill. The table is worn but sturdy, just like our relationship was. Or is. I just don't... Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions, and there were many more to come. Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I could tell plenty of stories. The dining table was well worn. Our dining table. Quite modest, but I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. So much wisdom and happiness in this bookcase. My life would have been much poorer without all this. The smell of old books is intoxicating. What happens to wood pulp as it ages gives it that distinctive vanilla smell. I loved it when we took down one of my favorites and curled up on the bed to read together as the wind howled outside on cold winter nights. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? No, of course not. Most of the books are mine, but a lot of rarities and special editions here. So many afternoons spent in this armchair.
Come sit with me. I want to talk. And cuddle.
What did we talk about? Damn this fallible memory of mine. The most comfortable spot in the cabin, well, along with the bed, of course. I can imagine her cuddling up to me even now, putting her hand under my shirt. Of course, we made love here, too. There was no place in the cabin we didn't before things deteriorated. The most comfortable spot in the cabin. I can imagine her cuddling up to me even now, putting her hand under my shirt. This window never got much attention. Then again, the view isn't nearly as spectacular. Priorities, right? I guess it's covered with grease and grime from cooking, mostly. There's probably nothing out there that I want to see, anyway. All the stuff I care about is inside. Well, except for Serena. I can make out nothing through this window. We had such a wonderful time dining in this cabin. Serena loved to experiment with her cooking. Truth be told, not all the cooking she did was a resounding success. We agreed to never attempt doing ravioli again. Sharing meals with a good red wine was one of the great pleasures in our relationship, especially in the intimacy of this cabin.
You silly dolt. Here, give me that. Don't be such a child.
I think it dates from the colonial era, probably brought over by the Pilgrims. It belongs in a museum. An archaeologist could excavate the layers of food forever welded onto this and learn about the days when other beings ruled the earth. I think it dates from the colonial era, probably brought over by the Pilgrims. It belongs in a museum. An archaeologist could excavate the layers of food forever welded onto this and learn about the days when other beings ruled the earth. Something draws me to this trunk. Is it the memories locked within? Or something else? We use this trunk to store trinkets and papers, but I can't help thinking there's something of importance inside. It's too painful. I want to, but not yet. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place to keep one, since it can be locked. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. She made this with her own hands. She was really good.
Look what I made, hun, in case we ever need to sweep something under the carpet. See the pattern of yellow squares? It's from this rug I remembered from my nursery. I must have been like 3 or 4, but it always stuck with me.
And no trap door under there, just more creaky floor. I always resisted the temptation to sweep things under there when it was my turn to tidy up.
The rug's all crooked again. Can you help me straighten it out?
And no trap door under there. I always resisted the temptation to sweep things under there when it was my turn to tidy up. Unlike its sibling, this lamp would last for months. We brought the lamps with us when we got this place all those years ago. They were from a garage sale. The sun is streaming through the window. No reason to turn this on. All these metaphors and similes in my head. Light of my life. Make light. We used to keep a pitcher of water and a glass on this nightstand. But there's a thick layer of dust and an almost invisible outline. It hasn't been long enough for so much dust to accumulate. Has it? For some reason, I always slept on the side of the bed closer to the window. We weren't good at housekeeping, always focusing on other aspects of our life together. But the dust does stand out a lot more when Serena's suddenly not here. I'll dust it off some other time. A lamp is a lamp, but to a writer, for some reason, I always slept on the side of the bed closer to the window. Never asked myself why. Our refuge from the world, a place of warmth and passion. Sometimes we joked we needed to be so far out in the woods because that's how our sex life was, far out. The furniture came with the cabin, but the bedclothes we brought with us. A place like this needs some luxury, but without her, there are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head. I feel too restless to sleep right now. I don't sleep well without Serena next to me. But there are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head. I feel too restless to sleep right now. We weren't good at housekeeping, always focusing on other aspects of our life together. But the dust does stand out a lot more when Serena's suddenly not here. For some reason, light bulbs wouldn't last long in this lamp. I never looked into it. 2 days, 3 days tops, and bam, a brand new light bulb would burn out. Whenever her lamp didn't work, Serena would come by my side to read. A few moments later, she would lay her head down on my chest and fall asleep. She used to keep magazines, paperback novels, usual stuff on these nightstands when we were staying here. The only reason this lampshade gathered less dust than the other one was that we had to keep putting new bulbs in this one. Because of a wiring problem or whatever, this one always starts smelling sharply of metal after being on for a while. Considering what a strong odor of metal this one gives off when in use, I guess we were lucky never to have an accident.
Good night, love.
She would always bring her reading material like I did. Why are these nightstands so empty? Dust everywhere. The amount of dust on it might make me hack up a lung. It's full of little scratches and gouges. Dust everywhere. The amount of dust on it might make me hack up a lung. She adored all things of nature. I remember her long walks out in the woods. Curiously, we never brought many plants inside the cabin. We were surrounded by so many outside, I guess we were saturated by them. At least I was. Maybe I should have let her bring some plants inside. She liked them a lot. A plant is a plant. Beautiful to some, boring to others. They say these things are alive. If they are, it must be a horrible existence, confined in their own silent, dark world. We have much more interesting things than this plant inside the cabin, like my books. A plant is a plant, beautiful to some, boring to others. They say these things are alive. If they are, it must be a horrible existence, confined in their own silent, dark world. We have much more interesting things than this plant inside the cabin. She is fairly religious, not me. I'm the cold and cynical bastard, but I don't remember that ever being an issue between us. She always thought our relationship was a blessing. God, how I miss her. No longer the cynical asshole, I guess. Her faith came as a surprise to me. She was never prudish about sex, so I just didn't expect it. I guess people simply aren't that predictable. No, I don't want to read right now. Especially not a Bible. I have no need for the words in there. I don't feel like being admonished by a deity right now. No, I don't want to read right now. Especially not a Bible. Quite a large armoire for our admittedly Spartan needs. She uses most of it. There's a strand of blonde hair in the comb. Yes, blonde hair like sun rays. What's wrong with my memory? Did I have a stroke? She also had a brush, but I can't see it anywhere. It's just a regular comb bought from a supermarket, new enough to still have all its teeth. She also had a brush, but hers. I used it too, when shaving. There's only an outhouse, and for some reason, whoever erected the rickety thing didn't think to include wall-to-wall mirrors, so this came in handy. Should I dust for fingerprints? I might if I were in a detective story. After all these years, it permanently smells of her and her perfume. The last thing I need now is to see myself in the mirror. There's dust on this, too. After all these years, it permanently smells of her and her perfume. They prevent my blood pressure from skyrocketing. Doctor's orders. And Serena's. I'm generally not fond of taking medication. I find it hard to believe ingesting a few chemicals will do me much good in the long run.
Don't forget your pill, hun. I know you'd rather not, but you know it's for the best.
Beta blockers. I have high blood pressure. I'm only supposed to take these before meals. Not a big fan of them. They do tend to alleviate my headaches, though. Beta blockers. I have high blood pressure. These keys are for the cabin and the car. If the keys are here, does she have her spare? I should probably stay here in case she doesn't. Did she even have her own spare? We also have a key for the outhouse, but can't be bothered to keep it anywhere other than under that rock next to the thing. No one comes here anyway.
Dearest, how do I say any of this? I like your way with words, but if I don't write this, I don't know what I'll do. My life feels so unreal now, dreamlike, but wonderfully so. Let me try, even if clumsily. The hours I spent with you when we last met are precious to me. I was so lost such a short time ago. Everything seemed drained of color and feeling. I think we were meant to find each other, to bring meaning to our lives again, make sense of the confusion shrouding both of us. When we stepped into the crystal silence of the snowy woods, away from the chatter of the guests, all nature seemed expectant, as if holding its breath, witnessing a rare moment of something infinitely better than what life in the ordinary run of things has to offer. Do you remember how the light crust of the snow glittered in the reflected light of the country house? How the copse of trees in which we walked was haloed with a magical aura? I felt the chill of the night air, and you opened your coat and enfolded me in your arms, and we hugged tight, sharing the warmth, sharing the only thing any of us have to share on this earth when you think about it. And then you toppled us on the snow, you devil. We laughed and rolled around, my head already spinning from the wine and crisp, pure night air and the stillness all around. We lay back and I gasped when I realized what I was seeing. The luminous starscape, like a vast velvet cloth sprinkled with powdered sugar, like it can only be seen in the countryside. I had tears in my eyes when I turned to you and we kissed, and it felt like the only moment in all of time, or outside time, and ours was the only spark that could ignite the universe. You gave me these moments. You complete me in ways I never knew to dream of. Let me be the one who makes sense of the confusion whenever you feel lost again. We can make our own world against the rest of the world if need be. Together we can silence all the demons, heal all the wounds. I love you. In eternity yours, Serena.
It's been so long since I said her name out loud. I think that's the moment I fell in love with her, when she told me the soothing sound of her name. It's a beautiful day, though there's an unnatural calm surrounding the area. I've always loved the hazy afternoon shades of this place. It's deep into summer, so there's a few hours left until it gets dark. The sunlight is so bright here. In other circumstances, this would have been the perfect afternoon for us. There's a crack in this window from a tantrum she threw some time ago, It wasn't the only thing she threw. Not exactly perfect soundproofing. The clock is a trophy from our flea market adventures. Chalk this particular purchase up to "Every cabin needs one." The ticking begins to feel homey after a while. The first night was a nightmare, though. Time never mattered much to us while we were hiding from the rest of the world here, as long as we were together and happy. The clock has always been rather autonomous. No matter how many times we've wound it up, it keeps going out of sync. Actually, I think it might have gone out of sync again. No trusting this clock. I wonder what time it is. As if it mattered. The clock has always been rather autonomous. No matter how many times we've wound it up, it keeps going out of sync. Actually, I think it might have gone out of sync again. No trusting this clock. The clock has always been rather autonomous. No matter how many times we've wound it up, it keeps going out of sync. She was special. Contradictory. She didn't mind these. Actually, I think she was into them too.
That looks interesting. We can always try it.
I read it for the articles, of course. Like that one by the guy. That one about the thing. I needed some incentive to go check the mailbox from time to time. It's some way through the woods. Something good left in this world. They still make covers like this. Erotic, not obscene. She's beautiful, but what's her obsession with dolphins? I needed some incentive to go check the mailbox from time to time. It's some way through the woods. My love. We don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual "my love." It's different. But that just... it can't be different. Am I going mad? Somehow she looks sadder than I remembered. Could I really have been so wrong about that night? We don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so the guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then.
Is it my imagination, or are you using even more these days?
All those moments we sat at this table, laughing, smiling, simply looking in each other's eyes. Lonely Hearts Club Band. This table has seen many happy times. The meals we shared, or when we just used to stay up late with a bottle of wine and talk. I sure hope she comes back soon. We can sit down and discuss our problems, like we always did. We could always work things out. Pig and Pepper, Alice in Wonderland. All these associations, links, plays on words. My head is full of them, and it never stops.
Yes, I could sure use some pepper today. God, I'm so bored.
I didn't notice this before. It reads, "Contents imported from Ceylon." It's just a pepper shaker, really.
Come sit with me. I want to talk. There's something I have to tell you. I have been trying, and believe me, I've been trying so hard.
I almost have it. What? Of course, we made love here, too. There was no place in the cabin we didn't before things deteriorated. When did we let this window get so gunked up? There didn't seem to be much reason to keep it clean. Just overgrown. I should clean the cabin as a surprise. There was a time long ago that all the windows are drafty, but like everything else, we just got... I can make out nothing through this window. There was a time long ago that all this disrepair felt oddly homey. Why? I might just as well stay here. Years passed, no tears fell, no death knell reached the golden shores they trod. Another love story without a happy ending. Is there anything worse than beautiful memories turning to dust? I feel like I don't even have the strength to lift the lid. What once gave me so much joy now fills me with unbearable sorrow. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. She always reminded me to take these. I never asked her to. She just did it. I've been so immature about these. Even resorted to the old pill under the tongue trick more than a few times.
Please take it. It's not just that I worry about you. I don't want to bury my pig-headed husband.
I'm only supposed to take these before meals. I should leave the keys here until she comes back, because I know she will.
Where are you going?
I said I'd be back, and here I am. We did have a night prowler once who left a mark inside the outhouse, but we rarely lock it anyway. I never noticed it before, but there's some rust on the ring. I should get a new one. We also have a key for the outhouse, but can't be bothered to keep it anywhere other than under that rock next to the thing. We did have a night prowler once who left a mark inside the outhouse, but we rarely lock it anyway. How could I possibly forget the color of her hair like that, even for a moment? She was my girl with the sun in her hair. What's happened to me? I liked to watch her comb her hair before she came to bed, but that was so long ago. At some point, I just stopped. It's just a regular comb bought from a supermarket, new enough to still have all its teeth. We seemed to take fewer and fewer walks as the years went by. Everything around here is so familiar. Everybody thinks that living out in the middle of a dark, dense forest is so romantic. Nothing but you and nature. Why did we choose this place? We were both so young and spontaneous. Why did we suddenly decide we should let our love wither away in a still life? The sunlight can be confusing, oppressive, as if the sunlight is so bright here. In other circumstances, this would have been the perfect afternoon for us. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. I'm almost there. But how long has it been, I wonder? I can't tell. And I miss her so much. That ticking. I've wasted so much time in my life. Did I ever take a break to show her how much I truly cared? That incessant noise! I should smash this useless antique to pieces. It can't keep the time for 5 minutes straight. Chimes completely at random and never stops making that infernal noise. But hey, guess who thought it was so cute? Sunlight, birdsong. Nothing feels worse when there's no hope, no chance of anything. The light is so dim here. Makes me want to chop down every tree outside. There's only a limited window of opportunity for everything. I wasted mine. This thing has caused me more sleepless nights than I care to remember. No wonder I'm going crazy. Care less about the damn thing now. Maybe I should have a look at the contact pages. Her and her damn spice. Serena thought she was so special. Always trying to make our sex life edgy and exciting. Now I can see she was just afraid of admitting how bland and boring she really was. The stains on this bed suddenly make me mad. Angry even. Why must life always end up so sordid and hateful? I'm not crawling in there. I'm too riled up for that, and it's just not dark enough anyway. All the real color faded from it long ago. It must be full of dust mites. I should burn it. Stupid, feeble-minded woman with her silly menial things. It was she who didn't deserve me. I wouldn't waste my intellect on this sublunary distraction. She probably cared more for this plant than she cared for me. I should tear all her filthy, disease-ridden clothes apart and burn them. Everything she wore, just to lure me in. Not even these violent impulses give me the strength I need to open the armoire. What is wrong with me?
I sit here on the train, taking me to my final farewell to the ones who brought me to this world. I see the smiling couples on their way to new adventures and think, that used to be us. We had joy and laughter and friends once, but a memory is not the thing itself. You're very good at letting things you don't want to face slip off you. You continue as if nothing has changed, lost in your own lifeless world. Words and dreams may be enough for you. You know what? You'll get a chance to test that soon. I question how I once saw things. How much of what I thought we had were my own feelings, and how much of your manipulation, because you are so very good with words, aren't you? You knew how to use them when we met, and for the longest time, I went along with the romantic whirl you conjured up around our shabby, isolated existence. Oh, it took me long enough to see it for what it was. And there were these moments that you swept me off on foolish flights of fancy, when I threw myself into your fantasies. You wove your spell, plying me with your magic and with wine in equal measure, and I was taken in like the lost little girl I was. Do you realize all the pain you've caused me? They say if you have to ask whether someone loves you, you already know the answer. Protestations to the contrary can no more convince me any more than I can make my own mother or father draw breath again. Your aloofness tells a different story. I no longer know what you're thinking. With my parents gone and with your refusal to even accompany me in my time of need, something broke. Or maybe it happened long ago, but I never saw it so clearly before, even after everything. I don't make you feel comfortable? Really? That's all you have to say? I won't waste any more life waiting for things that'll never come. Of course, that's what you expect me to do. Play the good wife so no one will laugh at you for being the failure you are, to shield you from the truth of your existence. Lost in your books and vapid verse, blithely drifting into the mists of time, as if not even a footnote when you could be raking at it if you'd only used your words for anything other than personal indulgence. You talked and talked about your path, the winter blueness of my eyes, all that nonsense, and the years rolled by, the seasons came and went, and on, you pursuing your dreams that will never be, lost in your damned words, looking for clues you'll never find. I'm sure you're doing it even now with your rotting books. You took the best years of my life and gave only empty words in return. We've gone as far as we can, and something's got to give. S.
Now I remember. It was me all the time. It's just a bunch of schmaltzy, a shrine to naivety. I should just destroy this useless junk. But not even the venom inside me gives me strength. Her jewelry box. What is it doing here? Changeable man, insolent wretch. Sounds like Serena, all right. This armchair. This is where we had that talk.
I've been trying so hard, but we lost something along the way. Did you get my letter? Will you just listen to me for once? God, you're always... Wait, where are you going? Don't walk away from me.
I feel like throwing this chair through the window. Her favorite chair, huh? I should just smash this thing to pieces. It's wobbly and off balance, just like she was, especially that night.
Sit down, we need to talk.
When did it go so wrong? This was supposed to be We weren't supposed to fight here.
You just don't get it, do you? You never do. Yes, go ahead and empty the whole salt shaker on your meal. I hope you choke.
She was always yammering about the salt, feigning concern about my blood pressure. If she were here, I'd rub salt into her wounds, all right, just like she's rubbed salt into mine. Her wedding ring or mine? But what is it doing here? Oh, please, no. It's hers. I can't believe she would just leave it here. Where the hell is she? No, I didn't do it. I need to wake up from this nightmare. I remember how happy these made her. She smiled. That wonderful smile. I must have gifted these to make amends or something. Or did I? Did I ever gift her anything? She loved her trinkets more than she loved me, right?
this was. We had a plan.
My God.
Nothing like this.
What is this?
But no,
It can't.
You couldn't help your dad.
It isn't.
We can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming any minute.
How did it happen? I
All covered.
can't remember.
Spent much time here.
It's already rotten beyond recognition.
But after all this time,
But how much time? It's
been months
dry
since
and withered. A body takes at least weeks to... I can't even remember how I did it. Maybe I didn't. Do I have brain damage? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
you realize how stupid this was. We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. You couldn't help your dad, though. We can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming any minute.
Don't worry. It's all covered. We spent much time here.
Do you think they will buy it after all this time?
Fire will do it.
It's been months since you... Fine. Give me the kerosene. Do you realize how stupid this was? We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing.
No.
You couldn't help
No!
your dad.
This isn't happening!
Now, the bulldozers are coming any minute.
The sun is a silent death for some.
Spent much time.
Dehydration. If I smashed the window, I could just slit my wrists with the shards. Bashing my head through might cut a carotid artery, even quicker than the wrists.
Do you realize how stupid we had a plan? I took measures,
I should electrocute myself with that lamp.
but you couldn't help your
I don't need to see that horror any better. Is there someone out there? Or am I hearing things?
It's all covered.
I'm not. I remember stumbling on this more than once, but she always insisted it be kept here.
Fire
She
will
did
do
it on purpose.
months since you...
This rug. I could wrap the body in it. No, I can't. I can't even think about this. It's grotesque. Red like blood. Yellow like dead eyes.
Do you realize how stupid this was? We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. But no, you couldn't help your dad, though. We can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming any minute.
all covered. We spent much time here.
What's happening to me? Is this real or some kind of drug-fueled nightmare? Wish I could overdose myself with this. Nah, an easy way out is never the best one. My head is pounding. Is it the pills I never took? Is this my punishment?
We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. But no,
She's not coming back. She never left.
now the bulldozers are coming any minute.
I've been running from a lot, but I can't run away from this.
We spent much time here.
I must be in shock. It still hasn't sunk in emotionally what I must have done. What else would explain it?
Do you realize how stupid this was? We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. But no, you couldn't help your dad, though.
When was the last time she brushed her hair?
Bulldozers are coming any
Did I brush her hair? When I...
It's all
They say hair is just dead cells anyway. The more hair you have, the more strands of dead cells sprouting from your scalp, streaming behind you in your wake.
you realize how stupid this was? We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. You couldn't help your damn self. We can't risk moving it now.
It might as well be a coffin.
Any minute.
Everything within it is just
Don't worry.
dead. I should bury my sorry self in it. All those memories. I'm so sorry, Serena. I loved you. That night, the night we had that fight, this is where she told me. What a damn fool I was.
Don't walk away from me. Don't you fucking care anymore? Stop! Get back here.
Any minute.
Don't worry, it's all covered. He spent much time here.
Do you think they will buy it after all this time?
Fire will do it.
It's been months since you.
Fire will do it.
She was right.
Give me the kerosene.
I wasn't good enough for her.
Do you realize how stupid this was? We had a plan.
Dead,
I took
worm-eaten
measures to
wood.
ensure nothing like this would happen. But no, you couldn't help your damn self. We can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming.
I'm going to be sick.
Don't worry, it's all covered. He spent much time here.
There's no booze, no food.
After all this time,
Fire will do it.
it's been months since you.
Even if there was anything left to eat or drink,
Fine.
I couldn't force it down. There's no point. Oh, is this how I did it? I should bash my skull in with this right here, right now. There's no point in... If only Serena hadn't missed me back then.
This was. We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. But no, you couldn't help your damn self. We can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming any minute.
Don't worry, it's all covered. He spent much time here.
Do you think they will buy it after all this time?
My
Fire
face.
will do it.
What's happened to my face?
Fire will do
Is this my punishment?
Give me the kerosene.
It's like looking into a mirror. I've just been slowly rotting inside all along until I took her life.
Do you realize how
The many times we sat here,
we had a plan?
so many,
To ensure nothing like this would
to
happen.
think there would ever be a last time.
You couldn't help your damn self. We
The
can't
dinners,
risk moving it
the
now.
laughs.
The bulldozers are coming
I can't
any
bear
minute.
looking at it any longer.
it. Don't worry, it's all covered. He spent much time here.
Do you think they will buy it after all this time?
Fire will do it.
It's been months since you.
Fire.
Fine.
Those noises sound like more than one person. Who can it be? The police?
But no, you couldn't help your damn.
Are they coming for me?
We can't risk moving it now.
I deserve it.
Bulldozers are
There's
coming
something
any minute.
about those voices.
Don't worry,
I must know.
covered. He spent
The
much
window.
time-
Do you realize how stupid this was? We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. But no, you couldn't help your damn self. We can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming any minute.
Fire will do it.
Do you think they will buy it after all this time? It's been months since you.
Don't worry, it's all covered. He spent much time here.
Fine, give me the kerosene. Oh shit! We forgot your... Fuck! It was so stupid to leave it. Why did you do that?
Can you calm down? I couldn't bear to wear it any longer. It's in a safe place. We'll pick it from the ashes.
No, not like this. Please. No.